Hey guys, Sid from Academic Success, and I'm here to talk to you about how to pay attention in a boring class. My first piece of advice is to come rested. The easiest way to ensure that you're staying on task is to make sure that you're not going to fall asleep, right? You can't soak up a lot if you're not awake. So rest is the key to focus. A tired brain has a much harder time making connections as well as staying on task. So if you're not making those connections, you're not getting what you need to out of being in class. It's like you weren't there at all, and you're paying for that. So make sure you're well rested. Next, stay hydrated. When your brain is healthy and hydrated, your attention isn't worn down nearly as quickly, right? You don't get bored as fast when you're hydrated. So make sure you bring your emotional support water bottle and take sips of ice cold water or a yummy, delicious caffeinated beverage, because this is a great way to stay awake and alert when you're already tired. If you did have a late night, hey, that sip of cold water is going to jolt you right awake, right? It's kind of like when we listen to loud music when we need to stay awake in the car, but you should never drive tired. Anyway, it's a great method, and it's also a way to stay healthy. And then don't be hangry. If you're low on fuel, so is your ability to listen, learn, and stay focused. Plus, if you're hangry, you're not going to want to be there, and you're going to get distracted about what delicious snack you're going to eat after class. So make sure you've had a meal or a nutritious snack before those extra long classes, such as night seminars or labs. It may even be okay with some instructors that you bring small, mess-free snacks to class, not labs, but to class. So just be aware of the food allergens of the other people in the room and clear it with your professor first. Sometimes this is really helpful. And then sit toward the front. Sitting in the back of the room encourages audio and visual distraction, right? Because you can see everything going on around you except the board, right? You can't see the slides as well if you're farther away from them. And if you can't hear your instructor or everything they say because maybe they have a quiet voice, or maybe you're hearing rustling papers and whispering students between you and that instructor, that makes things a little complicated too. So it's a lot easier to stay focused the closer you are to the action. And then reward yourself. If you've listened to my other videos, you know that I love to give myself a little treat. And that means rewarding myself for hard work, and staying on task in class can be hard work. In fact, it often is. So keep track of your most productive class meetings and things like good grades to be sure to reward yourself after milestones. You can get a delicious little coffee that's overpriced but delicious, or a nap, extra screen time, or, get your nails done, go get dinner at Razoo's. I'm telling you a lot about myself, but the point is reward yourself. Keep up that positive morale with little treats. And participate. Participating in class may be the last thing you want to do, especially if you're introverted. And believe it or not, I'm an introvert. I'm just paid to pretend that I'm not. But participating in class is one of the most surefire ways to success. First, it keeps you engaged in the material. It helps you keep what you learn, right? Because you're processing it as you go. And it keeps you awake, so you're not zoning out if you're participating. And then take vibey notes. I know that sounds silly, but taking mindful notes is a great way to stay attentive, absorb new information, and cement the information you already know. It keeps you focused on the relationships between those big topics and the small minutiae of them, and even the relationships between topic to topic to topic. Color coding and other organization visuals are also a great way to keep that new info accessible for later, and keeps you awake. So when you're drawing your Venn diagrams or arrows or highlighting, all of that great stuff. And then turn your phone on silent. Really, it's hard these days when all parts of our lives are pushing and pulling us in different directions at the same time, and when they're all on that little rectangle in our pockets. But limiting your focus to just class while you're in class is crucial. Now, granted, I understand we're all adults. We have emergencies sometimes, or we're waiting on calls, and that's okay. Just tell your professor beforehand. It's a great sign of respect, and it lets them know that if you have to leave abruptly, that's what's going on. And likewise, if you're on your laptop or any other device, stay out of social apps, mute push notifications, and discourage all those distractions. And then finally, utilize other ways to help you focus. Some people find that fidgeting and strong flavored gum are really good ways to stay awake and alert. It kind of keeps something going on in the background, so it gives fuel for the focus, right? Just know your limits when it comes to fidget toys, though, and you also don't want to distract others as well as yourself. So, like, hey guys, no slime. That's probably just a good rule of thumb. But then, hey, maybe you have dry eyes when you stare at screens. Maybe you're old like me. Eye drops can really help, or blue light glasses. It can help that fatigue from staring at screens constantly, whether you're taking a class online or you've got a course that uses a lot of screens during lectures. It can be a great help. And that's all I've got for you right now. But hey, if you've got any suggestions, we'd love to hear about it. Just shoot me a message here in Canvas or an email at Sydney Wilson, SIDNEY Wilson at uttyler.edu.